Vaush. Let's listen to some Vaush, if you can. So, wait, does this not...
Oh, at least.
Oh, that does work.
There's not much I can do about the optics black hole, though, at least not right away. I don't expect this video will get much positive attention on release. I think it's going to be kind of broadly ridiculed, largely, I think, from folks trashing it who haven't actually watched it. This is something that I expect. This is something we all know will happen. Whether or not you agree with me on any of this, you know that'll happen. It's unfortunate, but I can't make that not happen. I can't, like, rewrite reality. So if I can't do that, then I just have to accept it. And I'm sure there will be, like, drama YouTubers who comb over it and pause every 2 seconds to talk about the, like, pedophilic contour of my frontal lobe or whatever. You know, they'll just make a big laugh riot out of it.
I watched the entire video. I watched Vaush. Vaush put out a 1 hour and 50-minute long response video as a result of the Goblin fiasco, the tax folder expose, and I watched all of it. I watched it on 2x, but Vaush speaks kind of slow and deliberately, so I didn't really miss out on too much. I will say this. I'll start with the positives. Vaush was good to groom himself. As you can see, his beard is freshly sheared. His hair is did. He's got this nice dark leather jacket on, which kind of looks like the kind of jean jacket on that Wrangle Star tries to wear. You know, he's kind of like, I'm an everyday man. I wear a jean jacket like Wrangle Star. I bought a jacket that'll last me 90 years, just like in Soviet Russia. So he was good to take a bath and do his hair and buy a nice jacket from Wrangle Star. That's a good part. That's a good job. The second one is he constructs this video in a way that is very intelligent. He puts his strongest arguments first. So he digs up all those old clips of him where he's like making really dipshit debate bro arguments in favor, trying to associate no ethical consumption under capitalism with pornography. Though, sorry, the one argument he doesn't make, which it surprises me because it seems like it's the most obvious refutation of what he says, is that the child exploitation is incidental to the product. If there was a way to have a robot go out and find diamonds in the river, then they probably wouldn't use children. You know, if there was a faster, easier, cheaper way to acquire the product, then the children would be excluded from the equation because they're not necessary. Whereas the purpose in and of both the production and the consumption of pornography is the abuse of the child. For some reason, literally no one ever brings this up as a refutation of what he says, even though it's like the most obvious point to make. So he starts out, he says that his argument was retarded. He regrets it. It's haunted him every day of his life. He wishes he could go back and shoot himself in the past because he acknowledges that clip seriously damaged his long-term prospects, probably for the rest of his life. He kind of malingers that it's been 5 years, but I can tell you, bro, it doesn't matter how old you were when you said dumb shit. It can be 16 years later. People bring it up all the time, so you get used to it. It's never going away, bro. Then he moves on from that, and then at the very end of his video, he gets to the Goblin folder. He gets to the Goblin folder, and it's kind of weird because at the start, I went to lengths to explain. Very well spoken, very deliberate, very sounds very reasonable, going over his mistakes, admitting that they're mistakes, wishing that he did things differently, so on and so forth. It's worth mentioning that because when he gets to the tax Goblin folder, that deliberateness kind of breaks, because now it's not trying to debate bro his own perspectives. Now it's like, why do you have pictures of Khan saved to your computer? So he has to be kind of silly about this, and he goes, well, I thought they were short stack goblins, and I like the tummies, and now I can totally see with the context that that was a mistake and I shouldn't have done that. But one thing he doesn't mention is the horses. In this segment where he's discussing the con folder, he does not mention that there are cons being fucked by horses. His explanation is that he likes small girls because it makes his pee-pee look bigger. He likes it when there's a big dick and then a small body, and because that's arousing to him. And I assume that goes double for horse, but he does specifically doesn't mention horses. I was actually by some YouTuber who says I watched it too, and that it was the guy from what's the name of that podcast? He has a weird name. It's like Oyasun or something, and I want to say it's the podcast that Charlie was on. There's a very big podcast, and it has a fourth chair that's a guy that likes the Kiwi Farms, and I swear that Charlie's on it. Kaya Orson, he actually me on Twitter, and he said that I was wrong, that the horses are brought up, but no, actually, so in the tax folder he doesn't mention the horse fucking the little girl. He completely deliberately misses that, but in the end he does use the word horse. He talks about horses only in this context because there's that really famous quote from Keffels where Keffels says Vaush is a racist pedophile and that's why we love him. And that quote is really damaging to both Vaush and Keffels. And it's apparently an in-joke in the Vaush community to just call him a racist pedophile. And the horse stuff is only brought up in the context of him saying, look, please stop calling me a racist pedophile as a term of endearment. It's actually not helpful at all. And it really bothers me. And I've just been too much of a bitch to say anything about it for 5 years. Please stop. And then he, as a counterpoint, he says, but you can call me a horse fucker. You can call me a horse fucker. You can say that I love horse. That's all fine. So it's like it's not. He doesn't mention it, and he doesn't mention why the horses are fucking little girls in the tax folder segment. But at the very end, where he's talking about his own community as like an address to the people that actually consume his content, he pleads with them to call him a horse fucker that loves horse instead of a pedophile racist. And if it sounds like anything that I've said is a joke, that is a true and accurate summary of the video, and anyone else who's watched it can back me up on this, that I'm not making shit up. So that is the Vaush video. And now the Vaush almost seems like a side note to the real drama, which is Queen Kafal's. Oh god, I meant to show you this. It's very important that he got his beard groomed, because without his beard, that's what he looks like. Can you fucking believe that? Can you believe that that's what he looks like without his? A part of me says that's not him. You know what I mean? Like, a part of me is saying like, there's no way that's him. You know who it really reminds me of is this guy, the actually Zoe Fox guy. Oh wait, let me not show this on screen before I check it. Hold up a second. Yeah, this guy, the I Stand By Kiro the Wolf guy. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. Oh, this works fine. Look, does he not? And this guy looks like a pedophile furry version of Rich Evans, and then Vaush looks like him. So in a way, Vaush is kind of a bread tube version of Rich Evans, if you really think about it. You know what I mean? Though this guy looks a lot closer to Rich Evans than Vaush does.